Here's a question for you. How many times do you go on live on your Instagram in a month? You can take 3 seconds to answer this question. Now, what if I told you that you can gain more than 25 followers per live session? Not convinced? Look at my data analytics on this particular date. You would be able to see a sudden increase in follower count on that day as compared to the other days. So, what's the catch? I went live on my Instagram that day, yes, and that's precisely how I gained more than 25 followers in just 1 hour. Now, obviously, this number can be 50, 100, or even 1000, depending on the quality of your Instagram live. And that's exactly what we are going to discuss in this particular video today. Keep on watching as I unravel my strategy to gain more followers through the live feature on Instagram, and also why this feature is one of the most underrated features that you have come across recently. So why are Instagram live sessions even important? Remember how I mentioned in this particular video how important it is for your Instagram stories to rank here. Guess what? Instagram Live does that for you absolutely free. Your live call out is placed in front of every other brand when you go live, thus increasing the chances of people clicking to see you. Moreover, Instagram also sends a notification to your followers prompting them to join your Instagram Live. That means every time you go live, your followers would immediately be notified so that no one misses out on your live session for free. Okay, so now that I have convinced you to go live more often, let's quickly dive into the 6 simple but helpful tips that I keep in mind before, during, and after jumping on the Instagram live sessions. Make sure you come back to this particular video before you go live so that you don't miss out on these checkpoints. Let me be clear, I won't focus on basic checkpoints like having a good network connection, a peaceful ambience, or even knowing which buttons to press while going live. Like these are the points that have to be taken care of before going live, and I'm not going to discuss them. But what I'll be focusing on in this video are the tips that most people forget before they go live. These are the tips that are not discussed widely, so make sure you stick around till the end to know what homework you need to do to have an impactful and interactive live session with your audience. So let's go. So checkpoint number 1 is plan, and plan. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of being spontaneous during live sessions. I think that's why they are called live sessions, for you to be creative, have fun, embrace your humanity, and make mistakes. But don't just click on the live button without planning on what you are going to say. I recommend planning 3 points to discuss in your live, like at least 3 points. If you're demonstrating a product or service, then make sure your product or service works properly, and practice recording that particular thing. If you're giving a tour of your office or a particular place, make sure everyone knows that this is going to happen and you are going to be live, and do a test run to make sure that you don't run into any trouble during the live. Having a clear objective in mind would help your audience to know what to expect from your live session, making it less awkward for you as well. That way you would have people's attention every single moment without going blank on live and turning people off. Now let's talk about checkpoint number 2, and that is to have a clear structure. Now that I have mentioned how important planning is before going on live, in the next 2 minutes I would be explaining how to have a clear structure. Firstly, it takes time for people to find out you are on live and tune in. As soon as you start your live session, I would recommend saying hello to everyone who has joined in. Then when the rest of your viewers come in, feel free to say hello to them by name as they join in. Secondly, say what you're going to talk about. Make it interactive by replying to comments that people leave in the comment section. You can also mention that you might not be able to follow all the comments during the live, but you will respond to as many as possible. Then don't spend too long greeting people. Remember that people who tuned in as soon as the live began will be bored if you start greeting everyone. So stop doing that now. Now you are ready to get to your main segment. Repeat your live video title and get on with it. Once you are ready to finish, don't put them off with a simple goodbye. Thank everyone for listening. You can remind people that you will respond to their comments and keep them coming. Then do ask your viewers to share the live session in their stories. This will greatly increase your reach and expand the number of people who would interact with your account. With that being said, let's move on to checkpoint number 3. That is doing enunciation exercise before every live. Now, let me explain. Then you move on to loosening your jaw. Although it is different from although, as in how many participations. Do you find yourself doing this on camera while you are on live? I'm sure most of you said yes. I've been there, you have been there. Basically, everyone who has gone live has been there at some point. I used to think working on my communication and speaking skills would help me tackle this problem. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Mispronouncing words happens because of stiff muscles in your mouth. So what you actually need is a round of enunciation exercises right before you go live. Here's how to do it. In order to loosen up their muscle and speak properly, you start with opening and closing your mouth easily as you repeat pa 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 blah blah blah. Then you move on to loosening your jaw as you repeat shaka shifa ra, paka shifa ra, waka shifa ra. Baj ka shifara, da ka shifara. The next step is to loosen your lips by repeating www. Next, you go ahead with the combination of loosening both LLL, LDL, www, LDL, www. Then you can go ahead and read these phrases out loud, which are in front of your screen. You can find tons of enunciation exercise videos on YouTube, or you can simply come back to this particular video before you go live for a quick round of mouth exercise. Now let's move on to checkpoint number 4, and that is working out the best time. At the start, try going live at different times of the day to work out what is the best time for your audience. Think about what your audience will likely be doing at that particular time of your life. Will they be at work or at home? And then keep testing and you will work out the best time for you. Then let's move on to checkpoint number 5, which is very simple but very effective, and that is using a countdown on your story before going live. The countdown widget on Instagram allows your followers to set a reminder for your live. It notifies your audience right before you go live and increases the likelihood of more people joining in. A countdown timer can also build a suspense and draw attention to your event. I would personally recommend going live before your scheduled time, maybe 10 minutes earlier, and letting your countdown timer tick down to your official start time. The main reason for this is that the peak number of viewers come in on your live session at around the mark of 10 to 15 minutes, and you don't want to be starting your main content if not everyone is on. So the countdown timer is a great way to get attention and play into the algorithm so your live event is discoverable at the right time. With that, let's move on to our last checkpoint, which is giving a CTA at the end of your live session. If you're a creator, you'll already be knowing the importance of a compelling and effective CTA. A compelling call to action right after your live session tells your audience what their next step should be. This eliminates any chance of confusion arising, and your audience would be very clear about what to do next. For example, if you're talking about a free course, ask them to DM you their email address to get straight into their inbox. Also, talking about free courses, I have a free Facebook ad course which will teach you the basics of Facebook ads from the scratch, especially for you. You can click over here or you can click in the description below. To make it fun, you can also ask your audience to leave meaningful comments in the comment section, and you can in turn pin their comments. This will encourage them to comment more in the future. In short, always give a call to action. So to conclude, remember that you don't need to be perfect during the live. People rarely are. The only way to improve the quality of your lives is to keep on doing them. You'll make lots of mistakes. The more you do the lives, the more visible you and your brand will be to your audience. At first, you may not have many live viewers. You might only see your best friend and your mother show up for the first live. But don't worry. Over time, more people will get to know that you are producing these live videos, and your viewership will increase. And don't forget to come back to this particular video next time you go live to see if you have covered everything. Also, if you have been wondering how to leverage Instagram stories to the best, check out this video where I go in deep to make creators like you understand what works and what doesn't. Until next time, bye-bye.